What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan back, and we have the silver player as a target for the roster update. Now, I still don't think I've seen the confirmation. Um, I'm just assuming, just like everybody else, that they moved it back a week. Um, so I'm going to say that the roster update isn't until I believe it's July 30th. So not this Friday, but next Friday. So we do have a little more time to get some good prices and stock up a lot more on some of these players right before the roster update. As always, you just need to watch our games, especially pitchers. Um, I mean, it shouldn't impact them that much, especially with how well they have been pitching. Um, but I do have a couple pitchers and some positional players that I'm going to talk about. The first one is Anthony Scafani. Again, I mentioned him before. I still think that he's a really, really good investment. Um, I mean, you just look back at his last 30 days, and he still has a 2.2 ERA. That's after having a rough outing his last game. Um, 32 innings pitched, 32 strikeouts, .89 WHIP, and a 191 batting average against. And even on the season, 2.78 ERA, 113 innings pitched, 103 strikeouts, .99 WHIP. So those numbers I feel are very good, good enough to get him to a gold. His age isn't too old to where that's going to impact that as well. He is 30. Um, but I do believe that Del Scafani just needs that +1 to hit gold, and I do believe that he will get it on this next roster update. He's probably one of my more confident picks of hitting gold. So, it's never for sure thing. Don't ever invest all your stuff into one player. Uh, but I do like him. I have a lot of him, and I do hope he goes gold. So, first player is Anthony Del Scafani. All right, guys. The next player we have is German Marquez. Same thing as Del Scafani. He did get a little rough game um, against Seattle yesterday. Gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. But I mean, before that, he's been pitching really well. On the season, he's got a 3.5 ERA, 118 innings pitched, 119 strikeouts, 1.16 WHIP. What I like is his last 7 games, though. It looks like his numbers have improved quite a bit. 2.87 ERA, 47 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts, a .87 WHIP. So it seems like as the season went on, he's been locking in a lot more. Um, he is a 76 overall, so he is going to need a lot to hit gold. So I'm not targeting him as much for gold at this uh, the next roster update or this coming up roster update. I mean, um, it'll probably be the roster update after, even after that. So he's more of a long term hold. But I do believe that he's pitching really well. Um, a big strikeout pitcher, so I'm hoping that continues. Um, and 26 years old, so the age also plays a factor into that as well. So another player for the future that I am targeting. All right, guys, the next player that I am targeting, and this is a guy that I will put out there as somebody that I could see go gold, um, is Brandon Lowe. Brandon Lowe had quite a last 30 game performance. We've seen similar numbers from somebody like Kyle Schwarber, Joey Gallo. Granted, they had a lot more home runs and stuff like that, but Brandon Lowe, in my opinion, has had a good enough last 30 games. His age is perfect. His defense is gold. His hitting is bronze. A lot of this is playing into a factor. He's 26. So I'll read off his last 30 games and I'll read off his season stats. So the last 30 games, he's got 20 runs, 26 hits, 11 home runs, 23 RBIs, 16 walks. He's got a 277 batting average with a 398 on base. His on base has just gotten better as in more recent games. It's went up to 418 in the last 15 and a 500 in the last 7 games. On the season, he's got 65 hits, 51 runs, 21 home runs, 48 RBIs. His average is terrible. It's a 215. His on base is 330. But I believe for how recent recently good he's been playing, that can get him the boost to gold. And home runs play a big factor. Like I said, you've seen Joey Gallo, you've seen Kyle Schwarber, Adolis Garcia, those guys get boosts for just home runs alone. So I believe with how much improved Brandon Lowe has hit, that will help him. Like I said, his defense is gold, so his hitting just needs to get a gold. But yeah, his numbers look really good, and definitely somebody I'm targeting. All right, guys, and as you can see, Willy Adams is our next player that we're targeting. And you can also see that he's a 75 overall, which means he is more of a longer term hold. But with how young he is and how well he's been hitting the ball, I definitely think that this is somebody that we can make stubs off of as a future gold player. So I'll just read off some of his numbers on the season: 84 hits, 49 runs, 16 home runs, 52 RBIs, batting 262 with a 336 on base percentage. You look at his last 30 games, and this is what really stands out to me: 37 hits, 24 runs, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs, 17 walks. He's batting 333 with a 422 on base percentage, and his numbers have only gotten better since then. So he's definitely hitting the ball really good. He's only got bronze hitting so far in the game. So I expect his numbers to very well increase. I'm looking at more vision and contact than anything. But yeah, this is somebody that, like I said, I don't think he's going to hit gold at all. This coming up roster update, it's really hard for players to jump that high. But with his price right now, he's definitely going to get a boost. There's a lot of people that are already backing him, but you can get him for really cheap. So my suggestion is to load up on him now, or you wait until the roster update hits. If he doesn't go gold, then yeah, I'd invest a lot into him because he's probably going to go gold in the roster update next. But right now, he is really cheap for how well he's doing. So definitely somebody else that I am targeting for the future. All right, guys, the last player I have for this week is Paul Goldschmidt. We've seen Paul go all the way from a gold close to a diamond all the way down to silver, and he's now at a 79 overall. His price is high. I know I haven't went over prices, guys, but all the prices for these guys have been dirt cheap. This is the only player that is more expensive, but I believe if you don't get him right around now, his price is going to be too high. Uh, Paul Goldschmidt on the season, his season numbers don't impact of how good he's playing lately. But I'll read his season numbers off, and then I'll read his last 30 games. Season stats: he's got 97 hits, 51 runs, 16 home runs, 54 RBIs. He's batting 272 with a 341 on base percentage. But you look at his last 30 games. He's got 38 hits, 17 runs, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs, 13 walks, and only 19 strikeouts, which is crazy. And he's got a 330 batting average with a 398 on base, and his numbers have only been getting better since then. I do believe Paul Goldschmidt does go up in this update to a gold, so like I said, I suggest getting him right now with his prices where it's at if you want a gold player. Before it hits a roster update or gets even any closer, because his numbers are just phenomenal. So Paul Goldschmidt is definitely somebody to invest in. The last player I'm talking about today, guys. So I do hope you enjoyed the video. I will try to get 2 more videos out next week of players since we get an extra week. Talk about other players that I haven't talked about. The videos might not be as long just because there's only so many players that I like. And it's more gold players than silvers right now. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments who you guys like down below. And I will see you in the next video.